What happens when you hit the snooze button and wake up in hell? Most fantasy books start with the call to adventure. This one starts with the silence of the grave. Today, we are reliving Alchemised. Buckle up. We open on Helena. She doesn't wake up in a hospital. She wakes up in a freezing stasis warehouse, surrounded by dust and the crushing weight of abandonment. She wasn't saved. She was filed away. A clerical error lost in the system for 14 months. And in that time, the world ended. The war is over. The bad guys, the necromancers, won. She lost Luke Holdfast, the Golden Boy, the leader of the Resistance. Well, actually, the former leader of the former Resistance. Because they've been crushed into powder. And Helena? She is processed like cattle and transferred directly to the custody of the High Reeve. But when the door is open, she isn't meeting a stranger. She's meeting a ghost from her past. Enter Cain Ferran. He used to be her academic rival, the guy debating philosophy in the back of the classroom. Now, he is the regime's most feared executioner. He is draped in black, radiating terrifying authority and dark magic. This is a betrayal sharper than a knife. She looks at him and sees a traitor who sold out humanity for power. She sees the reason the world burned. But here is the delicious, agonizing, dramatic irony that we, the audience, have to sit with. She has no idea that she is looking at her only lifeline. She thinks he is the monster. She doesn't realize that playing the villain is the only way he can keep her alive in a world that actively wants her dead. His domain is Spirefell. This isn't a home. It is an iron cage designed to break the mind. Helena is desperate. She thinks she holds the secrets of the Resistance in her head, and she decides that silence is worth more than survival. She attempts to take her own life. But death is an escape route Cain refuses to leave open. He drags her back from the abyss, not with medicine, but with resonance magic. It is invasive, intimate, and violating, forcing her heart to beat and her lungs to draw breath against her will. In that moment of psychic intrusion, Helena realizes exactly what her captor is. Cain isn't human anymore. He is undying, a magically altered being who traded his mortality for raw power. But the horror doesn't stop at his nature. It grows within her. Believing Helena is a rare animancer, the High Necromancer Moro orders her immediate enrollment in the repopulation program. The chosen sire is Cain himself. He is given 2 months to impregnate Helena, or she will be sent to Central to face other candidates. Vultures are circling her cell. Cain's sadistic father, Atreus, and his venomous wife, Aurelia, want Helena broken or dead. Cain stands between them, playing the role of the unfeeling monster to perfection in public, while privately shielding her from their cruelty. Helena hates him. She spends every waking moment mourning the memory of Luke Holdfast. But to understand why she's wrong, we have to rewind. Let's go back 2 years. The war is at its peak. Desperation has a flavor, and Helena tastes it when she walks into the lion's den to strike a bargain with Cain. The terms are simple, brutal, and terrifying. Cain agrees to feed the Resistance high-level intel. But the price isn't gold. It isn't territory. It's Helena. He demands ownership of her the moment the war ends. This is a deal with the devil. She convinces herself he's a predator. She creates a mental villain edit of him to keep her guard up and her heart cold. But again, the irony is thick enough to choke on. Helena thinks she is selling her soul to save her golden boy Luke. reality, she is protecting the apocalypse while demonizing the only man trying to keep her alive. Cain didn't demand her surrender to possess her. He demanded it to ensure she survived the inevitable slaughter. The cracks in Helena's hate-fueled armor appear during a chimera attack. Cain doesn't hide behind his guards. He shields her with his own body. In the aftermath, the tension shifts from political to physical. He tends to her injuries, and for a moment, the dark academic rivals dynamic bleeds into something much more dangerous: intimacy. But it gets worse when we look at the puppet masters. The Resistance Command? They aren't the heroes here. They see Helena's blind loyalty to Luke and weaponize it. They effectively turn her into a honey trap to seduce the enemy commander. The good guys are pimping her out to the man she hates. And just when Helena thinks she has Cain figured out, he drops the mask. He admits he didn't assassinate the previous ruler for power. He did it to save his mother from torture. The monster has a motive. The line between the hero and the villain isn't just blurred, it's gone. But Cain pays the price. For leaking intelligence to the Resistance, he is dragged in after days of torture by the Undying. It is Helena who has to stitch him back together. As her magic knits his flesh, she finds the truth carved into his skin, an intricate alchemical array branded on his back. This brand forces his obedience. He wasn't a willing monster. He was a prisoner in his own body. In the quiet of his recovery, the dynamic shifts. The air between them turns heavy with unsaid words and stolen touches. Helena realizes the magnitude of his game. Cain isn't acting as a double agent for ideology. He is betraying his masters solely to keep her alive. Then comes the second blow. Helena investigates the Resistance's holy power source. She expects divine light. Instead, she finds a battery fueled by tortured souls. The moral high ground disintegrates beneath her feet. The good guys she worshipped are just butchers with better PR. Understanding that Helena is surrounded by enemies on both sides, Cain stops protecting her feelings and starts protecting her life. He drags her into the training ring, and he is brutal. He strikes her, bruises her, drives her to exhaustion. It looks like cruelty, but it is desperation. He knows the Resistance views Helena as an expendable asset. He is forging her into a weapon, not to win the war, but to survive her own allies. And this brings us to the moment everything shatters: the twist. Helena rushes to cure Luke Holdfast's mysterious sickness. She brings her healing magic to the bedside of her beloved golden boy, expecting to save the hero. Instead, she finds the one thing she cannot fix: decay. Luke Holdfast isn't dying. He has been dead for months. The thing wearing his face, the thing she has been frantically protecting, is Stasis, a parasitic entity, a literal meat puppet for the enemy. The realization hits like a physical blow. She spent the final months of the war guarding the primary antagonist while treating Cain, the only person actually fighting for her, like a monster. She has been the villain's bodyguard. There is no time to process the horror. To banish Stasis, Helena is forced to do the unthinkable. She drives steel through the chest of the boy she once thought was her friend. The golden boy wasn't a savior. He was a suit. As the city begins to collapse, the holy infrastructure of the Resistance is revealed for what it truly is: a machine running on suffering. The good guys are corrupt. The hero is a lie. And Cain? Cain is the only truth left. The walls are coming down. Cain knows Helena will refuse to leave him to the falling rubble. So, he takes the choice away. He drugs her. As her vision blurs and her limbs go heavy, she realizes that the man she spent the entire war fighting is destroying his own chance at freedom just to cover her retreat. Cain chooses to die so she can live. Helena is captured and later enters Stasis, not as a hero of the war, but as a victim of the ultimate sacrifice. Snap back to the present. The clock is bleeding out. The High Necromancer doesn't just want them dead, he wants Helena's baby as a pristine new vessel. To get to her, Atreus shatters Cain's defenses, inflicting a wound so deep it destabilizes the very necromancy holding Cain together. Cain is physically disintegrating. His form is fracturing, the magic holding him together snapping under the strain. He makes the call. He will die here, a final stationary target, to buy Helena the escape he once denied her. But Helena isn't running. Not anymore. She realizes the narrative has been wrong the entire time. The resistance was a lie. Luke was a rotting husk. The only truth left is the man dying in front of her. She reframes their shared captivity as survival and chooses him. Desperate, she analyzes his fracturing magic and finds a solution. She can save him by binding a fresh soul to his failing containment array. She never gets the chance to explain. Atreus, Cain's father, lunges for Helena. It triggers something primal in Cain. He stops deteriorating and starts destroying. He unleashes his full, unmitigated power, ripping through the room to shield her. It is violent, it is messy, and it is absolute. Helena is done playing the hero for a broken world. To save Cain, she has to become the thing she once feared. She initiates the forbidden ritual. In a twist of dark fate, Atreus steps forward, consenting to the sacrifice, not out of love for Cain, but to preserve his wife's legacy. It is a brutal, bloody trade, but it works. Cain's soul is finally anchored. There is no time to mourn. As Firefell begins to collapse, they mount Amaris, Cain's chimera, and launch into the sky. Behind them, the estate erupts in a massive fireball. The world watches them burn, believing them dead. Good. Let them believe it. The war ends with the Liberation Front storming the capital, but Helena and Cain don't join the victory parade. They stay dead to the world. Finally alone, they stop fighting the pull. They aren't the shining heroes. They are monsters. But looking at each other, they realize that monsters are the only ones who can truly love beasts. 20 years bleed into a quiet kind of eternity. Helena and Cain found their sanctuary not in a castle, but on a rock in the middle of the ocean. And their daughter, Enid? She eventually becomes the one light allowed to leave the shadows. She pushes off from the shore, carrying the heavy legacy of parents who burned the world down just to save each other. The history books get it all wrong, of course. They write Cain as the villain, and Helena as his tragic victim. Let the world have its lies. In their secret, blood-soaked truth, Helena and Cain found the only thing that matters: acceptance. And frankly, it is enough. And that is the story of Alchemised. It's a masterclass in unreliable narration and the who hurt you trope done right. If you liked this breakdown, smash that like button and let me know in the comments. Would you choose the hero who lied, or the villain who would burn the world for you? See you in the next one.